Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes, getting likes, hitting dingers, getting listeners. Back again with another podcast episode. I think we're right around 130, 129, somewhere in there. This has been fun, guys. This has been a lot of fun. I come at you daily, every day, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is when I upload. There are a few missed here and there, so if you want to get technical, it's not every single day, but we do miss some. So there's some glitches along the way. Some things don't work out as planned. So it is what it is, guys. I tried my best to come at you every day with content. Doesn't always fall that way. But we are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Podcast. Wherever you can get a podcast, we are there, or we try to be. So that being said, smash the like button, subscribe, follow on your favorite podcast platform. We do this every day. We're always up for talking baseball. So we do live sessions Saturday at 4 Central Standard Time, whether the game's on or not. We will do watch-alongs. We now have the capability to do membership. So there's some exclusive perks that come along with membership. If you click that button down below on YouTube, you can sign up for a membership and join the team. We also have a SeatGeek code, Miller Park Minute. That gets you $20 off your first order with SeatGeek. Feel free to put that in there. You can also support us through Patreon, patreon.com/Miller Park Minute. Again, there's exclusive perks with that membership as well. So those are the things that I always need to say. So if you've already heard all that, I apologize. It's going to be in every episode. That being said, I mentioned something yesterday in the live. I don't know if you guys watched the live or heard the live, but I bought tickets from a murderer. Well, technically, I didn't buy them, but I got tickets from a murderer. We'll tell you more about that later on in this episode. First and foremost, let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's talk about a 3-game winning streak ending tonight and us dropping out of first place. All right. So Milwaukee Brewers played the Cincinnati Reds. We took 3 of 4. No shame in taking 3 of 4 from the Cincinnati Reds. Really, it was good play all the way around. With the exception of today's game, it was just a lack of timely hitting, and really looking like a fool in with the new fresh call up. So making his debut, Abbott didn't do us any favors. He held us basically hitless almost. It was pretty disgusting. So we'll go through the good, the bad, the downright ugly, as we always do every night. The good, obviously, was Julio Teheran had a great start. He had a quality start. That's my favorite word. If you don't know the definition of a quality start is 6 innings pitched and less than 3 earned runs, or three or less earned runs. So that's exactly what he put up. So we can't fault Julio Teheran. I would say the bad, obviously, the lack of timely hitting. Just couldn't string a hit when we needed to get hits. Another good note, and this is just a special mention. Luis Urias came in, had a great diving stop today. Good to see Luis Urias back in the lineup, back with the team after missing basically the first half of the season, first 3 quarters, third, whatever you want to call it. So very important to have a guy like that back. He's a young guy, and he's played well for us. So we'll see what he develops here this season and how good he becomes. That being said, the downright ugly, I don't think there was really a downright ugly moment. We could just point to the number of strikeouts that we had, 9. That's downright ugly to me. Hits across the board. I mean, Montecero, Contreras, Yelich didn't get anything. Owen Miller still continued, still rocking a 317 battering average. So Montesario's at 350 in his short time. And Toro's at 500 in his short time with the group. Now, we are going to see more of these guys as Willie Adames comes back. Willie's playing some games in Appleton. I played a game in Appleton. Now he's going to AAA. So we're going to see other guys come back, and some of these guys are going to get taxied back on down. I saw a comment the other day, and I want to kind of comment on that. Somebody made a question is, well, is Turang going to go down? And no, why would you send Turang down? That makes no sense. Albeit that Turang has been struggling lately. There's no point in sending him down at this juncture in the game. He is one of your best infield type prospects. So why would you leave a Montessario in lieu of Turang? I don't think that's going to happen. Again, sample size. Sample size is what we look at here. My opinion, where we go from here with after we've been so injured, you got to bring in some fresh blood, but giving Turang some days off, some time off, some rest. He has played arrowless baseball, which is really hard to do in the infield. Tim Dillard actually pointed that out in the Brewers Unfiltered podcast, and I thought that was such a true point. I mean, he's been very good in a very tough and very demanding position on the field. So I don't think that's something we look at this juncture, whether we're going to do that or not. I think that's just goes without saying. I think Turang's here to stay for a while. Plus we've got all these guys that just fresh came up. And you're not going to bring a Montessario in or a John Singleton in and play him short term. Now Darren Ruff did get transferred to the 60-day IL. I don't know if that's a move if they're just not if they're trying to protect him or exactly what's going on with those moves. I'm not really sure. That kind of confuses me in a way because it's like, okay, why would you transfer him to the 60-day IL? But we did have some injured list updates. So obviously Luis Urias was reinstated from the 60-day IL. Mike Brasso was optioned to AAA. Darren Ruff, knee transferred to 60-day IL. Sidelined since he suffered a serious hamstring strain on opening day at Wrigley Field. Urias was back in time to face the latest of a growing list of left-handed starters to be lined up against the Brewers. Reds' top pitching prospect, Andrew Abbott. Urias owns an 805 OPS against lefties, making him a welcome addition to the team that ranks last in the majors with a 628 OPS against southpaws, including Brasso's uncharacteristically low 571. Urias hopes a change of scenery gets his bat going. Again, he had a 448 OPS in 9 games during the minor league rehabilitation assignment with Nashville. So Willie Adames, concussion to rehab with, we already talked about, he rehabbed on Sunday with, and then he's heading to Nashville this week. He should be back. Rehab assignment scheduled for Eric Lauer. His non-throwing shoulder injured. He's got to rehab that. Matt Bush, shoulder, and Wade Miley. Excuse me. So it seems like I've talked a lot about injuries this season, and when we have a record number already, I think last season we only used like 53 people. I think we're at 45 or somewhere in the 45 to 50 category at this juncture with the amount of call-ups and send-downs. So it looks like Lauer is scheduled to rehab Tuesday night in AAA. Excuse me. Bush is scheduled to travel to Jacksonville that same day to begin his own rehab assignment. And Miley's first game action is scheduled for June 11th with Double-A Biloxi at Mississippi. Miley believes he could return to the Brewers rotation after that one outing, but Lauer has several minor league starts on schedule. So that is good news for our pitching staff. I mean, I think the biggest thing is our pitching staff right now. The Brewers are being diligent with Winker. Underwent spinal surgery in the offseason, placing him on the IL after he was diagnosed with a cervical strain in late May. Winker is scheduled to begin rehab assignment with Triple-A Nashville on June 7th. So just coming up 2 days. See how that goes for him. We talked about Eric Lauer already. Bush, Tyrone Taylor. They're not really sure yet. He did an injection in spring. He's just been trying to push through it. Okay. Early August at the soonest for Darren Ruff. Ruff suffered a severe laceration to his right knee on the June 2nd win over the Reds that was so severe it exposed tendons and ligaments. He was stitched up and landed on the injured list the following day. Further testing revealed a fractured patella. Holy cow. Wow. I guess I didn't before now. I hadn't read that, and that's pretty intense. That makes sense why it's been transferred to 60-day. I thought it was like we don't know if we're gonna keep this guy kind of move. No, that's pretty severe. So they're gonna be probably looking for some type of replacement, or somebody else might get a spot, and we might see John Singleton stay with the crew longer, I mean, I think it just goes without saying that everybody's going to get a crack this year. If Frelick or Keston weren't injured right now, they would be getting a crack at the major league team, both of which are injured. Frelick's scheduled to be coming back really soon. He's looking really good. Hira is not yet back. So that goes without saying. Yeah, we come back to Milwaukee to play the Orioles. Peralta versus Gibson tomorrow. Burns versus TBD on Wednesday. Thursday, we've got Ray going again. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I really enjoy Colin Ray. One of my favorite. So I have yet to crank out the All-Star video. I'm going to do that here in this coming week. But one of the things I want to say is I really don't foresee that we have too many All-Stars unless the vote goes really strong. I don't see that there's anybody that's been good long enough. Maybe Contreras. Maybe Brian Anderson's been pretty solid. I think Devin gets there based off of the just how good he's been in limited appearances. Let's cover, before we get into the power rankings, let's cover the top leaderboards. So first and foremost, we are a half game back of the Pittsburgh Pirates at this juncture. Pittsburgh is still doing well. Just shows anyone can do anything in the NL Central. We are right above the Cincinnati Reds, but we've got a 5-game lead on them. So Christian Yelich is still leading the team in batting average, 249. He has 40 runs. Rowdy is the leader with home runs. RBIs is Brian Anderson at 30. And Christian Yelich has 14 stolen bases. Not much has changed on that list really all season long. So Freddie's still at the top with wins. Devin now has 10 saves. Corbin Burns has a 3.75 ERA. Corbin Burns has 66 strikeouts. And Corbin Burns has a 1.18 whip. So, not many of those names have changed. Some of the numbers have changed. That's the big thing here. So, now we're going to talk about power rankings like we always do. And I think the thing we have to look at here is where we are at this juncture in the season. If we can just keep fighting, keep hanging on, 3 or 4 is not a bad outcome for that. Overall, it was a good road trip, I feel. All right, so we're going first to CBS Sports. Good friends at CBS Sports. Rays, Rangers, Astros, Orioles, Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, Diamondbacks, Blue Jays, and the Brewers making it number 10. John Singleton is back in the majors for the first time since 2015. Remarkable story is what they say. All right, that's a pretty decent shift. They moved up 2-3 spots. So let's go across the league and see where they go here. Of course, we gotta look at the MLB official power rankings and see where we go from here. All right, so Rays, Rangers, Orioles, Dodgers. Yeah, the Orioles are a good team, so they're not a joke anymore. So anyone who thought those games were going to be easy is not. Braves. Then we go Astros, D-backs, Yankees, Blue Jays, Twins, Brewers coming in at number 10. We were previously number 13. Moving on up. Get a couple dubs on the belt, and we're good to go. Let's talk about Fox Sports real quick, and we can see if we can find Bleacher Report. So Fox Sports says Tampa Bay is number 1, Texas at number 2, Astros, Orioles, Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, D-backs, Blue Jays, and then the Milwaukee Brewers. And we were 14 last week on their rankings, so see what happens when you get a couple dubs. And we can't look at the Athletic unless we pay. I just stopped paying for it because I was getting tired of it. They just don't have Brewers articles. If you want a Brewers subscription that's got articles, you got to go to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Otherwise, you can go visit my guys over at brewerfanatic.com. They also have articles. And they're pretty decent. So on Sports Not, we're actually way up at 13. Just behind the Angels. And they say fears of the Milwaukee Brewers selling at the trade deadline have been squashed, but still a long road ahead for this team. They went 11-16 in May, with its pitching staff proving it be a major problem. Unfortunately for the Brewers, none of the injured starters, Brandon Woodruff, Eric Lauer, Wade Miley, Aaron Ashby, are close to returning. Kind of the same thing we talk about every day here at the Miller Park Minute, the lack of improvement on our staff. So kind of is what it is. All right, I said it. I alluded to it. I posted an article on the Facebook page. If you're not a member, Miller Park Minute and Milwaukee Brewers, go over there. Join us on Facebook. We can have community chats, share articles, anything you've written, anything that you want to communicate. That is the place for it. Otherwise, Twitter at Miller Minute is my handle on Twitter. So, I got tickets from a murderer. So, as you guys know, I've gone to 3 games this season. I'm a perfect 3-0 on the season. I told you, I did mention this early in the season that George Scott's son actually reached out to me on Twitter and hooked me up with some seats. That was game number 2 I went to this season. Game number 3, he also hooked me up. George Scott, 2 days ago now, three days ago now, 2, Saturday, Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday. I don't know the exact date. George Scott the third, not George Scott. He's been dead for a while. But George Scott the third was found dead in his home from apparent murder-suicide. He killed his son and then turned and killed himself. It's a very tragic story. And it really kind of just made me sad because I was like, oh man, like the guy seemed nice to me. Like, he reached out to me a couple days, but like the day before my birthday, I was like, hey, do you want some seats? And I was like, oh man, this is like perfect. This is like a birthday gift. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And he said, happy birthday. Thank you. Keep up the good work talking about my content. And it's kind of a weird thing now, like, because it's like, oh, like if the investigation goes into like looking at his Twitter, and this guy was very big on social media. He did a lot of giveaways and memorabilia collections and things of that nature. And he also potentially may have murdered his girlfriend. And they were actually investigating that a few weeks before he ended up killing himself and his son, which is very tragic. Rest in peace to the kid, and I don't know, hopefully his girlfriend. Again, allegedly, I don't know any of this is fact, other than the fact that he did actually pass away, and his young son passed away as well, which is very sad and tragic. So, just really kind of a scary thing, kind of scary to think about. Like, you never know who you're dealing with out there in this world. All right, guys. That being said, I had to tell the story. I had to put it out, but I don't want to focus on it. I want to move on to positive and light, more positive, more light things like I like to do. We got Friday on the Hill tomorrow, 6:40 start here, Central Time. Milwaukee games. We're back to kind of normal after kind of a weird weekend series where we had 4 against the Reds and it was wrapped to a Monday. So this will be interesting as well. Yeah. Otherwise, it's been pretty fun and exciting so far this season. I guess not fun is the best word, but like it's been good. We're not playing so terribly bad, and because of the way our division plays and how this balanced schedule is working out, I really think that's the big key here. Is the schedule is really working to really prove the holes of the NL Central, because the NL Central can beat up on each other all day. But what's happening is we're playing these other teams, and this is exposing the holes in the teams like the Cardinals. Were the Cardinals really that good all these years, or was it they were playing, teams as the Brewers, the Pirates, the Reds? Is that what made them so good? I'm sure there's numbers and statistics to prove all that. I don't have the time to research that, but if you know, let me know. I think I'm assuming they had great records because they always kicked our asses. So, and still are. Let's be real. Oh shoot! All right, guys. Again, that's Eric with the Miller Park Minute. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for following along. Like, subscribe. If you want to join, that button's right down below on the YouTube channel. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whenever you choose to listen to me. I will be back again tomorrow. And as always, guys, go Brew Crew.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.